Rotarians, yes. And welcome to our regularly scheduled Wednesday morning meeting for the Rotary Club of Hudson. Today is June 11th, 2025. This is how I get calibrated. So nice to see all of your cheerful faces. We had a good time with the Scout Cabin last week. Looks like a little fall off today. I think people are still, I don't know. Yeah, but we'll have fun today. It's a beautiful day. Let me ask Captain Sides to come up and provide an invocation. Thank you.
Please join me. Dear Lord, thank you for today. It is good to recognize how different we are, our talents, our dreams, our backgrounds, our occupations. It is good to know that when you created each of us, you broke the mold. No one is exactly like anyone else. Even our thumbprints and our voice tracks tell us how unique we are. Yet we thank you that we can take these differences and mobilize them for the good of Rotary in our community. In our differences, we can think the same thoughts and move together toward a common goal. Bless us as we meet together. Thank you for our individualities and also for our common bond. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right. Hey, Doug, come on up here and lead us in the pledge. Come on, man. That's right. No. And I'm not asking anymore. I'm just instructing. Former naval officer.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test. All right. Number one.
It's the truth. It's fair to all concerned. Will build goodwill and better friendships. Official to all concerned.
And, Kelly, come on up and tell us what we need to do. What's your?
Good morning.
Morning.
First and foremost, I wanted to thank cashier Tom Tobin at Solon, Keith Beers, who I don't think is here today, and Pat Gaddis. Those were the individuals that helped out. That came out. So we appreciate it. It was a beautiful day. We had a wonderful lunch thereafter. Won't work, guys. So keep that in mind. Also, I have Tom Tobin and James Field, Jay Yard, and Pat Getz that are volunteering for the cluster project, which is 25th, 9 to 12:30 in Akron. There's a foundation board meeting after this meeting in that room over there. And then the change of the guard, Terry, it is at 6 o'clock, right?
Yes.
6 o'clock, $45. Give the monies to either Terry or to Ben. And Ben said you could pay it $9. But it will be a Blue Canyon. This is the meeting where we talk to the officers and records for 25, 26. The beer garden, is there some sheets to go around or not? Well, and then my to-do list is the automated, which I will do. But there's a question I have. What's the question? With that, I will leave it back to Mr. Tobin and introduce our speaker today. Oh, shirts too. Shirts are in $24 for if you're a XXL, right? Yeah, you're 28. Everything else is 24.
Yeah, we big guys always get discriminated against. So But I suppose that makes sense about that, but. All right, we have, an interesting guest tonight. Is there, who in this audience that has no pain? I see no one. Yeah, well, that one is, that's not what this about this. But, we had a speaker this morning that's talked to us about, his 38 years dealing with people's pain. So Jeff Cates, by the way, comes highly recommended by Kelly. So I think he's been dealing with Kelly's pains. And look at the way he deals this for her. That's amazing. So it's a great little ballerina. So we have Jeff Cates here. And Jeff is a medical massage therapist. As I said, 8 years experience. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what he's seen and what possibly, I guess, can be done to help all of us. Just come on. Yeah. And I can take it. Grab that. You. Onto the props.
Even a ship's trying to cause. Next to microphone. I'll struggle through it. Anyway, thank you all for letting me try. Thank you for that. First thing I'd like to say is, I am a medical massage therapist. Most people, when they hear the word massage, they think of a spa massage. That is not what I do. What I do is work with people to loosen the body and ease pain. Most people think that pain is caused by injuries. That's just one of the many things that can cause it. Mostly it's stress, strong emotions, malnutrition, pregnancy, all kinds of different things that happen to people in a lifetime. And it builds up over time and simply starts to make your muscles tight. The chart here is to illustrate there are about 600 about 600 muscles in the human body. The main thing about musculature is that it's all connected head to toe. The soft tissues, by that I mean muscles, fascia, tendons, organs, all soft tissues. This is my area. Muscles, of course, you got from head to toe, and then fascia is this white stuff here. It covers everything in the body completely except fluids. It does not cover blood or lymph or anything like that. But it does cover all your muscles, all your organs, all your bones, nerves, arteries, veins, everything. I'm sorry. Yes. It does not cover the pain that the lady spoke of. Does not work for that. But I work with a lot of people that have been in trouble for a long time. A lot of them have tried different standard medical approaches, doctors, surgery, everything. And very often that is what's needed. Hopefully what I do is prevent a lot of these things from happening. In other words, if you catch it in time, you can prevent these things from building up over time, because that's usually how it happens over time. And by the way, as I'm speaking, if you have any questions, shout it out there. And we'll try to answer for you. So there's two different types of treatments that I do. The first is named after me, it's called the Kate's method. It's a method that I discovered quite by accident, working on someone. And then over the years, I've taken lots of seminars, read tons of books, gotten many treatments myself that I learned from them. So the first thing that you want to do with the Kate's method is keep in mind the number one rule is if it hurts, don't do it. Okay? You don't want to create pain. The Kate's method is a technique. It really is so simple that I have taught it to many people who have no medical background at all. So it's very simple. And if anything you're interested in, how would you pass it out as far as my cards? How would you know about the you got this extremely technical I'm horrible on that's no right stuff. And I'm working on a website. Oh, very knows everybody that works in computers and that kind of stuff. We help getting that. Okay, so in case first of all, I'd like to ask you to just sit on the front of your chair, and we'll walk you through this. Okay. So what you're doing is you compare one motion with another motion, same motion going the other way. So for example, you would turn, just sit on the front of your chair and turn it to the right at the low spine. And compare that motion. Left. And what I want you to compare is which way did you turn easier, which way did you turn further, which way did you turn with less discomfort. Did I got that? Okay, so the first thing is you just compare motion. This could be a motion anywhere in the body, arms, legs, shoulders, anywhere. So you just turn, you make your comparison. Next thing you do is turn to the side, then it turns further and turn easier. So if it was easier going to the right, turn to the right and hold that. Use your knee on your hand on your knee or something that so you can relax your back and just breathe. We're going to hold this position for about 30 seconds total. While you're holding this, I'd like you to breathe. Nice, easy, smooth moment. Breaths. Don't have to be real fast. After the 30 seconds, just turn back to the center. And now turn back the other way, as far as you can go. What you'll notice is that you probably noticed that you turned further. That it was easier to turn that way. There's perhaps less discomfort when you turn that way. Anybody notice any of that? Yes? Excellent. So that's one way to do it. Another way is with you can do arms. Just raise your arm up as high as you can. Okay. Prepare that motion with the left arm as high as you can. Okay, so once again, compare which arm went up easier, which arm went up further. Pull that arm up. And then we're gonna again just breathe for about 30 seconds. What you'll find is that by doing this arm, you'll be loosening up the arm that was tighter. It's very simple. I almost feel better, Judge. Not that bad. Okay. Okay, now you raise the other arm. And how many people those that went up easier? Everybody? Pretty much everybody. Good. And you hold that for about 30 seconds and breathe. Always remember to breathe nice, slowly, breaths. It's a very relaxing treatment. It's just a thought. And you can, if you do something that hurts you, do something. It'll stop and go to a different part of the body. Okay, any questions so far? All right. So let's do, I'd like to ask you all to stand up. You do that. Looking at this chart, you can see that everything is connected and it's fully possible. So what that's going to do, because it is all connected, you can twist your ankle, for example. You want to get a card or something, you twist your ankle. In a few months, the twisting of your ankle will start to affect your knee. Because then it will connect to your hip. Then your hip will affect your lower back, and so you have neck and shoulder pain, headache. And it all started with some twisting. Now, everything is connected to itself. So I want you to stand because the function in your ankle is connected directly to the top. So just get your feet, cross totally right. And again, we're just going to turn to the right as far as you can go. And go back to center. Turn to the left as far as you can go. And come back to the center. Which way is easier? Which way is a little further? No. So turn again to the side of the here, the side of those with less discomfort. And we're going to hold that for 30 seconds and just take some nice deep breath. Good. Okay, so that's about 30 seconds. Turn back to the center. Now again, turn back to the other side of the way that was harder to do. Does everybody feel that there's a difference? Yeah. Okay. So again, because everything is connected in, so that's the reason the head is there. We can go ahead and you see it. So then, so you know, medical massage therapist, because I don't spot massage at all. I just work with people who are I'm licensed by the State Medical Board of Ohio and State Medical Board of Florida, which is right behind training. Massage, I've been self-employed for about 40 years in the business. Anyway, so besides the case method, which is very easy to do, it's difficult to demonstrate without a table. Usually I have such table. And people would lie down on that. You can stay completely dressed. There's no reason to undress at all when you're getting this type of treatment. And another thing you can do if you're interested is call me on the phone. If you want to arrange an appointment, do not text the employees. I do not text. I do not even have a cell phone. Okay. I was going to pass out some cards for you. But just call me up if I don't answer. I'll back with a message. Very technologically challenged. I think I said that. So another thing I do besides the case method is a number of different techniques. A lot of them are out there already. Other people do them. One is called counter streaming. It's the way to shorten the body shorten muscles is the exact opposite of a stretch. For example, if you look at me pain in the arm up here, which I know I need to be bigger than that. They just would shorten it. In other words, if you want to stretch your bicep, you would go this way. Do counter street, you go that way. And hold that for about 90 seconds. And then we'll release, it resets the breath. So that the nerves relax and the muscles go away. You can do that anywhere. Any questions so far? Yes, ma'am. Why would you shorten? Why? Okay, when God created us, He made us to be self-healing mechanisms. So that a lot of the stuff happens, like when you catch a cold, your body will automatically produce whatever it takes to get rid of the cold. In the case of muscles, you can correct a spasm in the muscle. Pain. Most of the time when there's pain about it, muscle is the spasm. There's so much stress built up in that muscle that it becomes so tight that it starts to pull on the bones. And it goes into spasm, what people call knots. I'm sure all of you had a knot in your leg, so at some point in time. So the way to get rid of that is instead of stretching, which is difficult to do when something is in spasm and pain, it's very difficult to stretch it. What's very easy is to go exactly the opposite way and hold it with your other arm so that you can relax the arm that you're holding. Okay? And you hold that for about a minute to 90 seconds. If you're interested, there's a book out there written by Dr. Dale Anderson. It's called Muscle Pain Relief in 90 Seconds. He calls it full and hold. It's a little book. The reason he used the term hamstring is that was already copyrighted. We had to come up with some terms, so called it full and hold. But again, your brain sends a signal through your central nervous system, which is in your spine, and out to the nerves that control your arm. And it shuts it down. It's just like a reboot on a computer. You put it in the shortest point and you hold. And you just breathe and hold. You can do that with any muscle you've got. And the way it works is, again, for example, if you have some low back pain, let's say you have a sciatica that starts in the lower back, goes down the leg. You can lie face down in bed and drop the affected leg off of your bed so that your thigh is straight down. And hold that for 90 seconds, and that will relax the muscle, the pain will work. It's really very easy. And so again, if you're interested, you can call me and set up an appointment. You're very welcome to bring somebody with you. You can bring your husband, your wife, friend, whoever, someone that you might be interested in working with at home. And they can watch the treatment and perhaps learn some rules so that they can help you to work on that, they can work on you. And in that way, you can help each other. That's my whole purpose for being here today is to let people know that they can help each other. You don't need to come to someone like me. Maybe you learn it at first, but after that, you'll pick it up. It's very easy. And you're welcome to somebody more. Any questions so far? So,
What about maintenance, like joint pains, elbows, knees, ankles?
again, it depends on what is causing the pain. About 7 or 8 out of 10 times, pain in any joint, the ankles, whatever, is caused by the muscles are so tight that they're pulling the bones out of place. Now, that might have been due, as I said, if you walk in the park and step on a rock and twist your ankle. That's an injury. But in most cases, people get tight ankles and tight knees because they sit a lot. Okay? A lot of people these days work with computers. So they're sitting all day long. When you sit all day long, then the bones and muscles of your lower back are not moving. They're made to move. Over 650 muscles in the human body, every one of them is made to move. That's what they do. If you're not using them, you lose it. Okay? So when people sit all day long in front of the computer, their muscles will tighten up. And that includes the knees and the ankle. It also includes the shoulder. A lot of people with computer work, they'll sit forward and see the screen better. So that's going to affect their lower back. And finally, so they've got their arms out like this. It's the keyboard. Anyway, it's a motion that they hold too long. Did I ask you a question? Anyone else? That's it.
I have, compared to my dad's, spinal stenosis. It's narrowing of the, you call it the vertebrae,
Right,
the back through which your spine,
right.
cord passes.
Right.
And, I don't know if it's related or not, but I have, I get a lot of tightness in the lower, I don't have the pain of sciatica, it's like that, but they call it. Those a lot of times, maybe that's gonna come later. But, what I do get is a lot of strain in my lower back if I'm walking for a long time. Is that, can you explain like how that, those of us who stand for a while, walk for a while, get strain their lower back, what that's about?
Yeah, certainly. Well, as analysis in particular, question I was asking about is in your spine, you have a bunch of different vertebrae. Out of each vertebrae, there's a hole basically where the nerve comes out. The stenosis is where that hole gets filled in, usually with calcium. Some people call it arthritis, it causes in many different ways. But essentially what it is the hole that the vertebrae exits from the spine out to your muscles becomes filled up so that it's squeezing on the nerves, which causes pain. And stenosis, you can sometimes help with what I do. People who have stenosis can be helped to a certain extent by what I do, but not completely. Because I don't go in and empty out the minerals that are causing the pain. That's not within my ability lab. So you have to deal with the doctor there to do that. But that's what stenosis is. And it's very, very difficult to do that. Yes,
So I have a stenosis.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, is that related to strain that in my back?
yes,
It is, okay.
because when you are walking, you talk about walking or standing, you put pressure on that vertebrae, which is already being squeezed from the stenosis because the vertebrae is not fully exits from is not open. So when you stand, it's putting even more pressure on the vertebrae. Okay. You got that? All right, so then there's a whole bunch of other different techniques that I teach in the case method and a whole bunch of other things. Different techniques that I've worked over the years. From reading books and the marks, getting hundreds of treatments myself. When I get my treatment for myself, I do two things. The first thing I do is just relax and enjoy the treatment. The other thing I do is I pay attention. Because you never know where it works out there. So I'm learning from other people that work. And the other questions about
You mentioned that you, some of the patients you work with, you x-ray them, that look like, they're full of withn and stuff like that.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
sometimes people need surgery and it's gone past the point where kind of thing I do could help them. And they have pins and rods and screws. They bring in an x-ray, it looks like ace hardware. There's so much metal in there. And sometimes to a certain extent you can help people with part of the pain, but you're not going to get rid of the physiology, the way the body has changed. Due to what the doctors did, they put in pins and screws and all else. That's what's needed. You can have it. So help is a very healthy. But at the same time, you can change and you can go away with you. And all the way you use. So some of the stuff is very easy and not invasive, but the case method will help, but it's not going to take it all. But again, if you want to bring something easy, you both can learn more about how. Yes.
So the types of things that you are able to help helps. Give us like the same types of patient ones that you like this is my goals.
Okay, pain of any kind, pain of, kind of strain, pain from overexertion, say, lifting something that was too heavy, you get warm up first. Pain from malnutrition, you need to eat correctly, get the right nutrition into your body. Pregnancy is a big thing for when you carry the baby, changes the way their body works, and that's very happen. There's I don't know this down. That's too bad. Anyway, strain of any kind, what people typically call stress, emotional stress of the body, what I is people that we had a bad day at the office or they're having problems with a neighbor or something. And it just builds up over time. But it could be an injury, it could be anything that makes you sick. The problem most people run into is when you're young, when you're very young, into your 20s, into your 30s, your body can easily prepare for that. In other words, you might injure yourself or fall or do something. And then you'll just take an aspirin all the time or something. In a day or so, it goes away. Okay, that's taken care of. But it really isn't. That's what happens is it accumulates over time. So by the time you're 40, 50, older, your body does not fix itself quite so easily as now. So that over time it accumulates and you just get worse. A lot of people and with markers and keys, that type of thing. That perhaps, I'm not saying for sure, but perhaps could have been avoided had they gotten proper treatment along the way. Unfortunately, insurance does not pay for that does not. So finances is part of these people avoid, well, avoid their doctor first. Most of the time when I run into people, they've already been to the doctor. They've already had a surgery or two. Or they've already been through physical therapy and that, like the health might not, maybe there's some left over. Even after PT. Did I answer your question? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question, Allison. So in college, weightlifting sport, pretty intense. Many are. And, the regular doctors, basically, they just need to offer really powerful drugs, which I didn't really want to do either. Someone that recommended chiropractic, which has helped me over the years. So my question is, what's your relationship with chiropractic? Something coming to you instead of that, or conjunction, or?
The chiropractic and osteopathic manipulation can be a very good thing. Chiropractors, they get you, usually there's an extra involved and they figure out what adjust your spine so that the bones go back in line. That takes the pressure off the nerves, which is a good thing. But what chiropractic does not do is calm down the muscles. So if you're going to get a chiropractic adjustment, it's far more effective to get a treatment like this before you go to the chiropractor. Then give it a day or so to sink in, and then go to the chiropractor. Because probably many of you experienced to go to the chiropractor. They'll adjust you in a day or two or three or four. The pain is bad, and you have to keep going and going. How many people have experienced that? You got that. So again, if you got this type of treatment before you went to the chiropractor, what the chiropractor does will hold far along, far along. So if you need to go less frequently to the chiropractor, or perhaps not at all. That answers your question.
Which I had earlier presentation.
Yeah. Well, again, most of the people that I work on, they're pretty bad shape. They've already tried chiropractic, PT, or surgery, or pills. Some of the TV, they talk about their medication that are available on the platform. And so,
Anything else you want to tell us?
again, the main thing to remember is try to get in before the pain gets really bad. But if you, when I work with you, what I'll do is I work by asking your body by motion. Which moves, that was I'll move you say your hips, and I'll push the hips straight across. I'll prepare that motion with you walk around the table, push your hips the other way. And again, which side moves easier, which side moves further, that's the side I move first. and hold. So it's very non-invasive, does not hurt. It's very gentle. Probably a lot of you have been to the massage therapist, we do that. The latest is called the muscle. Muscle. Deep tissue. Yeah, it's called deep tissue. When I work it's called that. And the name is changed about 6 times. But it's almost safe. It's fine material, press that and hurts. To make your sore. So it's effective, but it is painful. Yes, ma'am. Acupuncture is a form of energy. The acupuncture goes back thousands of years back to the Asian countries, China, and places like that developed acupuncture. It can be effective for a lot of people. It is not effective for everyone. It can, what they do is they'll find a spot on your body, they'll put it in a needle, tweak it, and the vibration of the needle opens up an electrical, there's an electrical system in the human body. Everything in the human body works by electricity. But you can, that's what they're doing with acupuncture. Using needles. If you do the same thing with your hands, you don't need to use the. For example, when I work on some people, I'll connect the place to their foot or your hand. It's called. So it's make that feel like that. No, that point and a point in the body that corresponds to that. In the foot. I have not making any sense though. But you hold the balls in that creates a connection, if you will. You hold that for a little while and that restores the electrical cells that there's lots of them, lots of different ways. But I'm learning all this. I learned something else. It's amazing. The body is amazing. Yes. Well, it works. Can I answer your question? Okay. Agriculture. No, can you take a minute to share any experience you want to do that? Yeah, he's been working.
This will go back a long, long time. But a couple of things that we all have taken this. First and foremost is this. In our lifetime, we didn't have this. But now we do. Spend an inordinate amount of time on our phones. And so our thought changes. Works. Same with the computer. When I started to work, there were computers. In fact, the bank I started to work at, senior union is exactly large work. So we were sitting at the desk looking at a screen. Now, maybe someone doesn't sit at a desk and look at a screen. So again, all of those things that happened over every year span changed all of our lifestyles and changed what we do and caused, in many cases, caused a lot of pain. But like probably everyone else, we sort of kick that can down the road. We sort of ignore it for as long as we possibly can until the pain becomes overwhelming. And that's where Jeff comes into play. He's worked with athletes, even some very notable individuals that have come to the Cleveland with. Really, it's all about pain. There's one thing in common that I tell everybody has. Pain. When you were a kid, you did. You could just look off and move on. But as you get older, that pain seems to be the reminder that keeps back at you. pain is the only issue that every doctor in America just hears over. I've got this, I've got that. It's all pain related. It'd be nice to resolve. So, there are places out there where you can get that done. Just certainly one of them. I'm not here to promote anything other than the fact that he changed my life. Got nothing to lose. Yeah. I had him through another person who we usually did. How many years ago? It's a decade. How many years?
I
Okay.
think it's 10 to 12.
So it's been a long time.
Now, thank you. Once again, another thing I want to be clear is, if you've been in pain for a long time, don't expect to come in and get help. I think feeling that is not the way it works. Okay? You'll get some relief. You wait and see how long that lasts, maybe 4 or 5 days, you come in the following week and get another treatment. And pretty soon you don't need to come in there. Pretty soon you come in once. But the other way works through all services for every 2 months. So that your body needs to be maintained. It's like when you change the oil in your car, that's not the whole forever. You have to change the oil. Your body is pretty much the same. It needs maintenance treatment. So don't expect it all to be wrong. That's not going to happen. But you can tell that you want treatment if what I do helps you or not. This will make you feel better after the first treatment for the next number of days. Why I can't help you? No, there's no guessing. And again, I did not diagnose anything. My doctor says you have stenosis or sleep disc or whatever. I let your body tell me what does. So I'm not guessing, and I'm not making up something I read in a book somewhere. I'm asking your body what moves and what doesn't. Okay. And it knows, like absolutely knows. Okay. So I don't have to be that smart. Any questions on that?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna ask the focus here. In full particular. What about is Joe's extra taking that? No. $4, the jackpot is $290, and the number is 3649. $649. Well, I didn't take that bet. Okay. There's a black marble in there, which is what you. And you did not find. So next week, the pot gets bigger and larger. Terry, you're collecting for Emilia, teacher role.
Correct.
Sound, so monies, or no,
No, it's, hygiene items, it's, monitor.
hygiene and monitor. Okay. Yeah, we turn that down. And for the moment, shoot. Yeah, thank you. All right. Useless, but important facts. There are 10 times more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand. All the beaches and deserts in the world.
Yeah, at least count.
Yeah, one, two, took a long time. So think about that this summer when you're staring up looking at the stars. There's 10 times more stars. And they're all these little green skin throughout the world. With that, we will see you through the next week. Remember, the week following that is dinner at, we can't.
Hey, Kelly, before you do, I just want to mention, that I left Jeff's cards at the back of the room. Wants to pick one up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His business cards are there. Next week, we have Leslie Collett, Executive Director of Hudson Library and Historical Society. Yes. We all know what a wonderful asset that is, so, I'm going to be a very, enlightening, presentation.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Enjoy today. No rain. We told me earlier, sunshine and near it. It's here.